Sup nerds! Welcome back to my channel! As you guys saw by the title, we'll be doing part 2 of every book I read in 2023, my yearly reading wrap up. It's so long that I wanted to split it up in 2 parts because I knew I would not be able to talk quick enough about each book. And so here we are, part 2. If you guys have not seen part 1, it was up on my channel yesterday. I didn't have this chair yesterday, but that's okay. Because I have it now. It's so cute. I got it for Christmas. I was so excited about it, and now this is a vibe because it's the perfect height. You could see all the books. Like, oh my gosh, it's perfect. Anyway, so excited about that. Anyway, we did up until August. So we did January to August yesterday, so today we have the rest of the year. I'm so excited. First, if you guys like, again, if you guys like yearly reading wrap-ups, if you guys like knowing all the juicy tea, if you guys like all the nerdy things, then definitely give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Without further ado, let's just get started. Alright, so I don't know if you guys saw part 1, you saw that, like, honestly, month by month I was reading more and more. So for the month of September, I actually read hold on, 16 freaking books. I think that's like one of my highest for sure this year. 16 books. That's insane. So we started off with A Court of Rings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. I really like this book. I didn't like it as much as the second book, but I did enjoy that book. I gave it 4.5 stars. It's not a bad book. It's just it's in the series. It's like hard. I don't know. But anyway, I gave 4.5 stars. Then I read Culty by Mariana Zapata. This got 3.5 stars. Not my favorite book ever, and I probably would never reread it. Don't honestly recommend it, but like, people love Mariana Zapata, just not for me. Then I think I read these like mostly in like a reading vlog or something like that. But then I read The Right Move by Liz Tomford, which I gave 5 stars. This book is so freaking good, like so good. Oh my gosh, I want to reread this one. I saw on Instagram someone posted like a little bit of the like scenes or whatever, the lines, and I was like, I need to reread that right now. Then I read Archer's Voice again. This was all in one reading vlog. I really like this book by Mia Sheridan. I'm glad I read this because it definitely brought me into I think it's Pelion, like little small town, which I love. And there's going to be more books from it. Like, it's just a good time. But Archer's Voice, I think definitely like a little overhyped, but it was fun. It was a good book. I still gave it 5 stars. And then we read Queen of Myth and Monster. This is the second book in the Adrian and Isadola series. Yeah. And I thought this book was interesting. It's good. It's not like my favorite series of all time. It's not my most anticipated series of all time, but I will definitely read the next book when it comes out. It's just like not out yet. That's by Scarlett St. Clair. I gave that one 4 stars. And then we have Scarred by Emily McIntyre. I gave this 5 stars. I thought this book was so good. I thought it was fun. It was fresh. They call it, I feel like the best way to describe it is what they call it, a dark royal romance. So that's exactly what it is, like a royal romance, but it's like dark romance, so just don't get that twisted. It's dark royal romance. Perfect way to say it, I felt like. Alright, then I read Hello Stranger by Catherine Senner. Oh my gosh, this was like one of my biggest surprises of the year. I love this book so much, like genuinely so much. I gave it 5 freaking stars. It was so good. And then I read A Court of Frost and Starlight, again by Sarah J. Maas. This book was fun. It was like, it felt like I don't know if you've ever read like fan fiction, where like it feels like someone, like, you know, you just want to see the characters in any way, shape, or form. Like, so this one, that's like Christmas, like holiday time or whatever, and like they're having the winter solstice basically, but they're like giving gifts and stuff like that, and so it was like a really fun time. I actually enjoyed that. I gave that one though 4 stars because as far as novellas go, it wasn't my favorite novella, but like it was cute. Then I read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I really wanted to finish the series this year and I did not, but we started it and I really enjoyed this book. Like, we started off really strong because these first few books were so good, like really good, and then the thicker they get, the less of the more I'm like, oh no, I can't. I'd rather just watch the movie. But honestly, this one was so good, and so 10 out of 10 recommend that. And then we read Legendary by Stephanie Garber. That was next? Yeah, Legendary by Stephanie Garber, 5 freaking stars. This started my love for Stephanie Garber. This like encouraged my love because I really enjoyed Caraval, but like this one really done did it for me. This one is 3rd person, but it's 3rd person like Donatella, and you get to see Tella. Like, it's just a good journey. It's a good one. I love that book so much. You guys know that's like my favorite series this year. Okay, then for some reason, I don't know if I just finished this like in between. I don't remember what happened. but I think I got this on like Audible. I definitely did get it on Audible, but this is In the Likely Event by Rebecca Yarros. I did not like this book at all, honestly. I just thought it was like, I don't know, it's just like not my favorite. I gave that one 3.5 stars, which honestly makes sense. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's not my favorite book of all time. Then we read Finale. I gave this 6 star. That is so funny, by Stephanie Garber. I really enjoyed this book. I don't remember why I gave it 6 star, but honestly the book was so good and I wanted more. I just like, this book is so incredible and the series is so good. So honestly, bomb. Alright, so then I read, let me see. I read The Dark King by Gina L. Maxwell. I don't even remember how I found this. This is so bad, but like, never mind. I won't even tell you. But honestly, I said that this is like if Katie Robert wrote ACOTAR, because it's giving fae and like there's dark fae, light fae, like all the different vibes, but it's like fae in Vegas. So like, you know, these people are like, the human people don't know that the fae are there, but they're like basically running Vegas, basically. So they're rich, you know, they're chilling. I don't remember why I was like, oh yes, I need this, but I think it was because it was on Kindle Unlimited. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I think I gave this 5 stars. That is not for the faint of heart, though. Oh, I gave it 4 stars, okay? That makes sense, yeah. Okay, then I read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Again, I was, like, on a roll. These were so good. I was addicted. I gave this 5 stars. Can you give Harry Potter anything less than 5 stars? I'm not sure, but this book was so good, and I was so happy about that one. Then I read Heated Rivals by Katie Robert. This is kind of when I decided to DNF the series. It was just, like, kind of boring, and honestly, I don't know, like, it's just, like, not that I don't know what it's about. I know what it's about, but I don't know, like, there's no reason or desire to read it, the rest of them, but, I read that one. And then I read Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, because I could not get away from Stephanie Garber. I was like, I need more. And so I read this series. I like this book. Definitely not my favorite book. I gave it 4 stars, and honestly, it's, like, a good first book, but it wasn't anything, like, oh my gosh, you need to read it, you know? Alright, so then going to October, I did also read 16 books in October. Insane, I know. Definitely, I saw this little, like, video, which I know this is gonna add time to this video, but sorry. I saw this little short and someone was just kind of like, remember, like, don't compare yourself to other people. And so, like, genuinely, 16 is an obscene amount. It is not the standard. Don't try to do that. I honestly want to try to read less, because I feel like sometimes if you read too much, it's like you forget about certain books. Even if you love them, you forget, like, little like, you know what I mean? I like to spend time with a book. So please do not think like, oh my gosh, like 16 books, I need to do that. Genuinely, I want to read less than that per month normally, okay? Alright, so I started off October, though, strong with Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I enjoyed this book. I thought it was a good book. I don't think it's something that, like, you know, is this life-changing. I don't think it's, like, Fourth Wing. I don't think it's, like, ACOTAR. Like, I feel like it's definitely good, but it's not, like, this new, innovative thing. I definitely think you've seen it before. But it honestly is good. So, I gave it 5 stars. I suggest you read it, but, like, I don't think it's not gonna, like, change your life, in my opinion. This book will change your life. I read From the Embers by Ali Martinez. I've talked about it so much. It is so good. You need to read this. I gave it 5 bajillion stars. Honestly, read the back. If you think that's interesting at all, read it. It's pretty short. It's a quick read. And you're going to want to finish this in one sitting because it's that good. Alright, then I read, I have the wrong book, my bad. Then I read Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne. I thought this book was so good. It genuinely surprised me, like surprised the crap out of me. I was not expecting to like this as much as I did. It was just corny. It was a little bit quirky, but it was like a good time. So I enjoyed that. I gave it 4 stars, but I honestly thought it was still so good. Then I read The Ex-Hex by Aaron Sterling. I don't know what I just said. The Ex-Hex. I did not like this book, like, really at all, but, you know, it's fine. It was, it was, like, more of a, I like, you know, like, Halloween is not my favorite holiday. I know some people, like, really love it. It's not my thing. But, so I wanted to get a little bit into, like, not spooky necessarily, but, like, a little bit. And I was like, but I don't do horror or mystery or anything. Like, I don't do hardcore horror or, like, anything like that. So I was like, let's just get a little bit of the Halloween vibe. No, never again. I hated that book. Okay, next I read, I have to pop in a picture, The Ballad of Never After. The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. I listened to it on Audible, and the paperback's not out yet. So I'm waiting for the paperback to deliver to me because I did order it. But I love this book. I love this book. I thought it was incredible. Definitely like up to Stephanie Garber's like standard with, you know, the rest of the Caraval series. I thought this book was great. You were hooked. You were like waiting for number 3. Like this was definitely the best book in the series, in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. But I don't have that one yet. Then I continued the Dark King. What is this called? I don't know, the Something King series, but this one is called The Rebel King. So this is the brother. There's 3 brothers in this series, so the third brother's book is not out yet, but this is the second brother. And I thought this one was good. Definitely not as good as the first one. I think I give this one 3.5 stars. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it was okay. I thought it was fun. It was interesting. You're kind of like, this one you see more of like the light versus dark. It's not light versus dark. Well, it's a bunch of fays that they have like different kinds of fays, but the light fae and the dark fae, I believe, were like kicked out of the fae world, and so now they're like battling for the human world basically, and so that's what you see more so in this one. But it's honestly interesting if you've never read it. It's an interesting series. Like I already talked about it in my anticipated releases. I'm excited for the third one. Okay, then I read The Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling. I thought this book was so good too. I always said like this one was probably like my favorite movie. Like not for sure, but like definitely this first 3 books are my favorite books. And so, well, I've only read, I haven't read that many, but like the first few are definitely my favorite. And I really like this book too. It was fun. I just love the whole like going back in time thing. I just think it was so cool. But this is a good time. I love that book. Then I read Wretched by Emily McIntyre. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was unique. I thought it was interesting. Wasn't my favorite from the series by any means, but like I thought it was interesting because it's kind of, I think he's the cop kind of trying to bust her, like what she's doing. And so like it's interesting. It's a unique twist and I thought it was interesting. Definitely caught my attention. And it wasn't like perfectly executed, like where I was like, oh my gosh, yes, but it was like good enough where I was like, oh yeah, this is good. Then I read Travis by Mia Sheridan. This is the second book in the Pelion little series that Mia Sheridan's got going on, and I love this. I thought it was so good. I don't know what's not to like, let's get real, because Travis I feel like is just definitely misunderstood, but you kind of get to see him get his redemption in a way. It's super cute, and then also I just feel like I love Haven. Like, I think her name, yeah, Haven. She is so cool, and I just love the way like they kind of way everything happens. I just love it. I thought it was a grand old time, and I know people have their beef, but I don't know why. Then I read Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. I just did not love this series. I thought this book you could have cut out like 200 pages. It wasn't bad, but like definitely not a favorite series by any means. I've talked about it plenty of times. But then I read King of Pride by Anna Huang. I love this book. I thought it was so good. But this is one that I'm talking about. Like, I feel like I didn't get the full experience with it because I was finishing books like super quick and so many books back to back that I didn't get to like love on this book, but I really did enjoy this book. I thought it was a good time. Definitely would reread. But then I read Caught Up by Liz Tomford. Oh my gosh, this book was so good. I love it. Someone just posted this today. They're like, I love Single Dad and Nanny. Was it that? Single Dad and Nanny? Something like that. And I was like, this honestly has all the best tropes. Let's get real. Single Dad, yes, as Nanny, but also Coach's daughter. Yeah, it's so cute. And then it's not like Grumpy Sunshine, but he's super protective of like his son, and so he's a little bit like standoffish, and she's like very like, yo, what's your deal? And so I like that relationship too. I don't know if it would be count as Grumpy Sunshine, but like in my head it's a vibe. It's so good. Okay, then I read The Broken Vows by Catherine Amara. I was so disappointed in this book, man. I just feel like, first of all, it's so long for no reason. The rest of the series isn't this long. Like, you probably could have cut 200 pages out of this. It was so stupid, and I honestly think we can get more creative than just saying like, oh, she's gonna misunderstand something and then that's gonna be the premise of the book. Like, that's stupid, especially because of her misunderstanding, a lot of crap goes down. Like, it's a lot. I don't feel bad for her, for Celeste, when you're kind of supposed to. I feel nothing toward her. Don't even like her. I'm like, honestly, Zayn deserves better, and I'm Team Zayn. That's what I am. Because Celeste was stupid, genuinely. And so I can't do that. I couldn't deal with that. That's the thing. Never in any of those books have I felt that way. I've loved the girl, I love the boy, and I love them together, but not this one. I just read a whole bunch of anticipated releases. Did I do a video? Maybe. I read The Long Game Next by Elena Armas. I enjoyed this book. Not my favorite book by her. And honestly, I'm like, not that I'm disappointed, but like thinking back on it, I wish it was better. I do. It was very like cozy, very chill. You know, not as fast paced as some of the other more like intense romances are. So I feel like that's what, you know, works in its favor. But not everyone's gonna like that because it was a little too chill. A little bit like, we're not really talking about things here, like we're just kind of waking up and like looking at goats, which is cute, but like it was a little too chill. And then I read Wildfire by Miss Hannah Grace. I love this book so much. I thought it was such a good time. Oh my gosh, I honestly want to reread this. I thought it was so cute, especially because Russ? Why did I call him Gus? Russ is just so freaking cute. Like, he is literally the sweetest thing ever. But like, he don't play. If you know, you know. Like, he's just like the perfect guy. He's so sweet. And then Aurora's honestly super cool too, which I thought I wasn't gonna like her, but I end up loving her. So definitely love that book. Not me giving a whole review when I've reviewed this 100 times. Let me hurry up. Then I read the Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, which I thought was great, but this was huge. Literally was just too long. There was no reason for it. There was literally no reason for it, and I was so mad about it. Like, the first challenge ends like okay, not that dramatic, but it ends like there's a good chunk before the first challenge, and I'm like, seriously guys, we didn't need all this. We did not. And it did not need to be this long, JK Rowling. And then they just get longer. No. Okay, anyway, those are the 16 books that I read in October. Let's do November. All right, and then in November, I read 15 books, so one less than the month before, which is insane. But I did have my first reread of the year. So second reread of the year, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. I reread Fourth Wing, which I think is insane because I had read it for the first time in 2023. So that's saying a lot, but you could see all the tabs. I did a whole video. If you have not seen it, I know it was like bad timing, but like if you are someone who still wants to see it, definitely go check it out. I had an amazing time. This book is so incredible. Love that. I don't know where to put it now. Too many things everywhere. Then I read A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. I read a lot of books this month that I did not have physical copies of, but you know, it'd be like that sometimes. It's fine, saving money. But I read A Curse for True Love. I enjoyed this book, but it's not my favorite book. Definitely not my favorite out of the series either. Like I was saying, the second one is definitely my favorite out of the series, but this book was good too. I don't know what this thing is focusing on all of a sudden. Definitely not my favorite book, but like, it wasn't bad. I thought it was a good book. It was really hard to, the way she ended the second book, it was like really hard to kind of make a good third book from that. It was like gonna be disappointing no matter what, like a little bit disappointing. So I didn't hype myself up as much as everyone else did. So I wasn't that disappointed. Okay, left side. Okay, then I read King of Greed by Anna Huang. I thought this book was so good. I think it was super unique. If you guys don't know, they start off married. I did have my beef with this book, but like, I still gave it 4 stars. So it's fine. It's fine. Okay, then I read Wicked Pursuit by Katie Robert. This is Katie Robert, Wicked Villains Next Generation. So these are the kids of the OGs, which is interesting. It's super good. It wasn't super good. It was good. It wasn't like the first series. The first series is just iconic. It's just better. But like, it was fine. It was good. I still gave it 4 stars. So that was fine. Then I read Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. Everyone like really was in a tizzy about this book. I was not obsessed, and honestly I'm glad this book ended up being the way that it was, because I'm not like sitting here waiting around for the next book. I'm literally like, okay, whatever, when it comes out I'll be there. But like, other books definitely stepped up like on the oh my gosh, I can't wait list. Because this one was just kind of like, and I don't know, it was not my favorite. I know people love that, but like, not for me. It was just like, again, I don't want to talk too much. I've talked about that. I did a whole reading vlog. If you want to see more, it's just not for me. Okay, but this series, I'm anxiously waiting. I'm patiently waiting. Am I patiently or anxiously? I don't know. I'm waiting for this series. I started From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this series is so good. This is one of those series that people don't talk about that much because it's definitely like, first of all, a super long series, but like, this book is so good. So good. This cover is delicious, but this book is so good. Oh my gosh, so good. Enough said. I've talked about that one quite a bit as well. It was so good that I had to read the second one like back to back. This is Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, and oh my gosh, it just got better. The ending of that first one was like, you kind of knew, you had your suspicions, but like then when it solidifies, you're like, oh, it's so good. And then I had to continue. This one was so good as well. This series, delicious. No one talks about it. Don't be afraid of long books, people. Don't do it, because sometimes the long books are the good books, are the best books. I'm not kidding. Like, sometimes you just have to stick it. Get it on Audible if you don't want to sit there and literally turn the page. I know it's so bougie, but like I do that sometimes. I literally, of the From Blood and Ash series, I have the paper, physical copies, the Kindle version, and the audio version, because it just depends on what I'm feeling. But I knew I was reading that series. That's the way to do it. Okay, then I read Twisted by Emily McIntyre. I did not like this book. I just felt like it was just so, it was stupid. It was also like a little bit predictable, but then it was also like, it was predictable, but, and like, you know, it's fine if it's predictable, if it's still good, but like, it wasn't good. It was just like, kind of like, meh. You're like, okay, but I read that one. And then I read another disappointing. This is How to Love Your Neighbor by Sophie Sullivan. This could have been good if it was not in third person. I really think the third person for this book really ruined it, which I did a whole video dedicated to third person books, so you guys know how I feel about them. But this one, you know, sometimes a third person book can be good. This one just was not good. It was just like boring. I don't know. Way too long. Then I read A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas, one of my favorite books of the year. I love this book so much. I thought it was so good, and I'm so glad that I read it. I was putting this off for a long time, but I'm so glad that I read it, because honestly, it was so good. I listened to it, because this book is so long. It's like, this is one of those that like, do I really want to flip through this entire book? Not necessarily, but I wanted to read it. So I listened to it, and I thought it was so good. Again, third person, incredible. That's how you do it. Oh my gosh. Then I just went downhill. I read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Did not like that book. I already told you about that. You Again by Kate Goldbeck. It was like fine. It was like fine. I don't know. Like, I didn't need to read it this year. Like, I wish I didn't read it, but I did, so like, it's like fine. Not that I wish I didn't read it, but like, it didn't matter if I read it or not. Like, I would never reread that, and I would never recommend that, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay, then I read, oh my gosh, I just bended it. It's fine. Then I read The Crown of Gilded Bones. You can see. The Crown of Gilded Bones. This is the next one in the From Blood and Ash series. This book, these all just get better and better. And honestly, I kid you not, there are moments throughout these where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is taking forever. Like, can we get to the action? But then when it gets to the action, you're like, oh my gosh, yes, this is exactly what I needed. And I still gave every single book so far 5 stars. And every time there's a moment where I'm like, and then I'm like, it redeems itself, and I cannot not give it 5 stars. So honestly, so good. If nobody else wants to talk about the series, I will drown you in this series, because you best believe this series is good. Okay, then I read 2 books that I don't have. I read Mountains Made of Glass by Scarlett St. Clair. This was just a little novella thing from Scarlett St. Clair. I just decided I don't like Scarlett St. Clair. And nothing against her, but her writing, I guess. Her writing style is not my style, and that's fine. I'm allowed to do that. But this book was just like, it was fine. It was okay. It was short, which is fine, but like, it's like, novellas are so tricky because you have to do them so well to make it a good book and still be a novella and not be too long. But this one just wasn't. I gave it 3 stars, which, it was like, whatever. Okay, then I read Trick Shot by Kayla Gross. Kayla Gross? I don't know why I haven't bought this book yet. I need to buy the book with the alternate cover. But honestly, I thought this book was pretty good. I gave it 4 stars. If you see it, you know the vibe of it. And I just felt like we could have not had more, but like, I would have liked a little bit more meat, a little more, that sounds crazy, a little bit more meat to the storyline, a little bit more meat to their lives and stuff. You kind of just like, it just jumps in, which is fine because it's a novella, but then you kind of just, there's nothing deeper, which I wish there was just a little hair, not too much. That's just me getting nitpicky why I couldn't give it 5 stars, but because I gave novellas 5 stars. It's the novella. Novellas are in their own like checklist, you know what I mean? Anyway, so those are those books that I read in November. 15 books. Oh my gosh, someone has to control me. Shut me up. Alright, so now we are in December. Keep in mind that December is not technically over in real world to YouTube, depending on when you're watching this, obviously, but also when I'm uploading it, December's not over either way. Still have a few more days. I can't like film the same day and upload the same day. It's a lot of work to do that unless you are a full-time YouTuber. So that being said, I'm gonna show you the books that I read so far in December, but there's gonna be probably a couple more, if not maybe like 2 more, 3 more maybe, I'll read before the end of the year. Okay, so I thought I was not going to finish this before the end of the year, but I finished this, and that's why I'm waiting for this series, the rest of these books. The War of Two Queens. This is, so wait, is it this one? No, sorry, there's one more. Yeah, sorry, there's one more. But I did read A War of Two Queens, and this book got me good. It got me so good, and so it kind of leaves... I guess it kind of leaves on a cliffhanger, but yeah, they all do. They all leave with a little bit of like mystery to them. But again, so good. Love that book. I love these covers. But then I read Crossed by Emily McIntyre. I thought this book was so good. I really enjoyed it. It's a little bit crazy. It's a lot of it crazy, honestly. This is definitely the darkest of the series, but like so if you're not into that, definitely just stay far away. But like, it was super unique, and I kind of hate that I liked it so much. I gave it 4.5 stars, but it was good. Okay, then I read Twisted Lies by Anne Huang. I honestly think this one and Twisted Games are probably tied for my favorite in this series, because I honestly really enjoyed this one a lot. I do still think she could have cut 200 pages out of this book, but I thought just everything about this Christian, even what's her name? Christian and Stella. I thought like everything, the characters, even the like twisted parts, like everything was so good, and honestly I thought it was like really well written. You could definitely tell she got her footing with that one. Then I read Holiday Romance by Catherine Walsh. Oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh, what, so people were not gonna tell me about this. I read it because it's free on Kindle Unlimited, and it was just getting them to me in the holly jolly mood. But this was so cute. I thought it was fun. This is friends to lovers, but like, it's super unique story because they're friends, but like, they basically, the most they hang out is like when they hang out from time to time, but like, the special thing about their friendship is that they fly the same plane every Christmas, like every holiday on the same plane, because they're the only people, I think, from like Ireland or something like that. They're the only 2 people who are flying back there from where they are, and so like they, well, maybe not the only 2 people, but whatever, they always see each other, and they knew each other previously, blah 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 blah. Such a good book. Okay, I'm talking about a lot because I haven't talked about these, but I will be doing a reading wrap up, so I need to stop. Okay, then I read Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. I cannot wait to finish, like, to continue this series. This is so good. I thought it was fun, it was fresh, it was corny, it was cheesy, it's predictable, but like, it was perfect for that. Then I read One Day in December by Josie Silver. This is, I gave it 3 stars. This book was so disappointing, not gonna lie. But again, I'll talk more about that if you haven't seen the reading vlog, honestly. But I heard about it. I am heard about it because I really wanted to love that. But then I read Snowed In. Snowed In by Catherine Walsh. Oh my gosh, this book is so good. It was so good. It was so good. It was even better than the first one. But I think I gave them both 5 stars. Yeah, I gave them both 5 stars because they're both so good. This one was fun and fresh. It's fake dating. There's so many good tropes. I don't even want to tell you. I just feel like you should just read it completely blind. Do not let the season go without reading that. Okay. Then I read, this one is the one that I was like, oh my gosh. So this one actually is A Soul of Ash and Blood, and I will explain more, but like, this is not... Oh my gosh, I don't know how to explain it. This book was so good, not gonna lie, it was really good. But it's basically the first book in the boy's perspective, basically, which is like fine, but apparently there's still 2 more books like coming out in the series after this, 3 more books, something like that. And so I was very like, hold on. At first I was like, abort mission, no thank you. But then when I got into it, I got into it. It was good. So I read that one, and then I read, I just finished last night actually, The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I don't want to say too much, but I thought it was so good. I literally read it. I started reading at like 8 last night, and so then by the time, I usually go to bed at like 10, but I was like, okay, I'll just go to bed at like 11 because I don't work tomorrow. So like, you know, I'm just like, okay, you know, it's fine. 2 a.m. rolls around, finishing this book. I'm like, okay, good. glad. I kept trying to sleep in between because I was like, oh no, let me go to sleep, and then I couldn't fall asleep, and I was like, okay, let me just finish it. Anyway, but that book was so good. I'm also currently reading, I'll just show you, because again, I'm probably going to finish it before December, but I still will do a reading wrap up, again, just so you guys know, so in case I read any more, it's fine, but I am currently reading Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I'm on chapter 3, and honestly, I'm listening to it on Audible, and I'm super excited. This audiobook girl is the same person who does Stephanie Garber's books, and I love her, so I'm excited about this one. I'm interested so far. I honestly want to get back and keep, like, listening to it, because it's really good so far, so this is a big book, though, so anyway, hopefully I finish that. Well, I don't know what else I'll finish, but those are the books that I read so far in the year. Again, I will do a reading wrap up for December, so you will see all the books I read in December as well. It just won't be all at the same time. Oh my gosh, this is insane. Let me count. So 56 books this I would say this month. This video, 56 books. That is half. Hold on. So that is the rest of the books that I read, 56 books in this video. Let me see. In total, I read 127 books this year, 128 books this year. I can't do math, so it's fine. You just gotta know I read 128 books this year, 130 books. Definitely will probably not be next year. Again, like I said, I'm trying not to read too many, like, again, and then not be, if I do, like, it's fine, but I am definitely excited to see, you know, what books I read and stuff like that. I just want to, definitely, oh my gosh, I just want to kind of read how I feel. Basically, all I was trying to say, just kind of chill, read vibes. Obviously, things want to happen right when I'm filming. So, anyway, guys, let me know your favorite books of the year. Let me know if we've read any of the same books, any books you're excited to see more from, you want me to talk about more, any video ideas you see from any of these books. Let me know. Anyway, that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, nerds!